we have the integral of theta times cosine theta, and it gives us what u and dv should be. On your test, don't expect that, but the way that this project was made was so that you could kind of get an idea of what you should pick for which, but we'll do a couple where we have to decide ourselves. But let's just go through this again. Remember, we want to decompose this integral into this thing over here. Nope. There we go. Okay, yeah. So let's take the derivative of u. So theta is just like the same thing as like x, right? It's just a variable. So its derivative is just 1. And then v, we want to take the antiderivative of cosine. So we need to figure out whose derivative is cosine. Well, that's sine. So we get sine theta there. Okay. So now we just throw all these pieces into this formula. Again, the way I remember it is I go across and then here. So this integral theta cosine theta d theta becomes, all right, let me write d theta here. Okay, so we get u times v. So I get theta times sine theta, and I'm going to subtract the integral of v times du slash just sine theta d theta. A good indicator of did I set this up correctly is, do I have the tools to integrate this using quote unquote basic derivative rules? As in, it's either like a trig function or it's like some polynomial. Basically something that we can implement pretty quickly. And I'd say we can take the antiderivative of sine pretty quickly. All right, so let's do that integral. So here, again, what we're doing is we're asking whose derivative is sine. Well, I know that the derivative of cosine is negative sine, so that must mean that negative cosine will give me a derivative of positive sine. Okay, so that's what we're going to put in this space right here. So we'll have negative cosine theta. Again, it's an indefinite integral, so I want to make sure I account for that plus c somewhere at least. Actually, I'm going to put the plus c over here because I don't want to distribute the negative to it. Okay, so now let's just multiply that in to give us theta sine theta plus cosine theta plus c. Okay, so that's the solution to that one.